Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. Today, we're plunging into a really exciting space. It's where beauty, wellness, and skin health all converge.
Yeah, it's a fascinating intersection, and it's not just static. This industry is evolving incredibly quickly. Think cutting-edge science meeting real consumer demand.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack the latest insights. We've got a comprehensive market forecast here for the global dermatological cosmetics market.
Right, and we're going to try and cut through all the dense data, pull out the most important trends and projections.
The goal is to get you armed with the key takeaways without feeling like you're drowning in numbers.
Okay, so let's get into it. The sheer scale here is well, it's pretty astonishing, and the growth is profound.
Yeah, back in 2021, the global market was already valued at, get this, $9.19 trillion. That's trillion with a T.
Astounding. And it's not stopping. Projections show it hitting $11.39 trillion by 2025.
And then soaring even higher to a massive $17.51 trillion by 2033.
And what's really interesting, I think, isn't just the total value, but the steady growth rate. The compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, it's clocking in at a robust 5.521% over that whole period.
That's pretty solid, consistent growth. So what's fueling this?
Well, it seems to be a mix of things. There's definitely a rising awareness among consumers about, skin health itself.
Right. People are thinking beyond just cosmetics.
Exactly. Plus, there's growing acceptance and, frankly, accessibility of cosmetic dermatology procedures. Things that maybe seemed niche before are becoming more mainstream.
And I guess the constant innovation plays a big part, too.
Oh, absolutely. Continuous innovation in these cosmeceutical formulations, new ingredients, new delivery systems. It's a powerful mix. Consumer demand meets scientific progress.
So digging into these drivers a bit more, it really boils down to consumers wanting skincare that's backed by science, doesn't it?
Precisely. People aren't just grabbing any old cream off the shelf. They want proof, effectiveness, maybe something a dermatologist recommended or that has clinical data behind it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you combine that with procedures becoming more common and this nonstop pipeline of new products.
And boom, you get this global expansion. But like you said, the global picture is just the starting point.
Right, because this growth isn't happening the same way everywhere.
Huh.
Different regions are contributing in their own unique ways.
Exactly. Understanding those regional differences is key to seeing the whole picture, where the really dynamic shifts are happening.
Okay, so where should we start? Maybe North America.
Let's do it. North America is, generally seen as one of the more mature markets, but still showing some impressive growth. It pulled in about $2.23 trillion back in 2021.
And the forecast.
Forecasted to reach nearly $4 trillion, $3.976 trillion to be exact, by 2033. That's with a CGR just under 5%, 4.924%.
Okay, solid. And within North America, the U.S. must be the giant.
Oh, for sure. Predictably the largest slice. Projected to hit over $3.1 trillion by 2033. Its CGR is a bit lower, around 4.66%.
But here's where it gets interesting, right? Canada.
Yes, Canada's the one to watch there. While it's a smaller market overall, its growth rate is significantly faster.
How much faster?
It's set to more than double its 2021 value by 2033. We're talking a CR of 6.462%. That's quite a bit higher than the U.S.
Wow, okay. That suggests some really strong consumer engagement up north. And Mexico.
Mexico shows more modest growth, but it's steady.
Oh?
Moving from about $89 billion in 2021 to roughly $139 billion by 2033. That's a CIR of 3.524%.
All right. Let's hop across the Atlantic. Europe. What's the story there?
Europe's another major player, of course, valued at around $2.62 trillion in 2021. And it's forecasted to grow to over $4.7 trillion by 2033. That's showing a solid 5.047% CAGR.
So slightly faster growth than North America overall. Which countries stand out in Europe?
Well, you got the big economies, naturally. The UK, projected to reach over $572 billion by 2033, growing at about 4.3%.
Okay.
Germany, even bigger, heading towards $870 billion, with a CAGR closer to 4.9%.
France, always a big player in beauty.
France is strong, too, expected to hit over $704 billion, and its CAGR is actually above the regional average at 5.225%.
Interesting. And you mentioned Italy earlier.
Yes, Italy is definitely noteworthy. It's projected to see really strong growth. It's nearly doubling its market size from 2021 figure.
To reach what kind of value?
Over $525 billion by 2033. And its CAGR is impressive at 5.618%. That's a significant leap.
It really highlights strong demand there. What about other parts of Europe?
Well, you also see impressive CAGRs, over 5%. In places like Russia, Spain, and Switzerland. Spain alone is expected to reach almost $400 billion by 2033.
Wow.
And then you have other markets like Denmark, Luxembourg, Sweden. They're showing stable, healthy growth too, mostly in that 4 or 5% range.
So it really seems like widespread adoption across the continent, just at slightly different paces.
Exactly. It paints a picture of a very robust and engaged European market.
Okay, so we've covered North America and Europe. Now let's connect this back to that explosive global momentum you mentioned. Where's the real engine?
Without a doubt, it's Asia Pacific. This region is really the standout growth story. It's projected to basically double its market value from around $3.14 trillion in 2021.
To a massive $6.38 trillion by 2033. That's huge.
It is, and it boasts a strong overall CDR of 6.083%. This is where we're seeing some of the most dramatic shifts globally.
Incredible. So within APAC, who are the key players? China, I assume.
China is, as you'd expect, the largest market there. It's set to grow from about $1 trillion in 2021 to over $2 trillion by 2033, still growing fast at nearly 5.8%.
And Japan.
Japan also sees substantial growth, climbing towards $1.03 trillion by 2033. Solid numbers.
Okay, but India. You highlighted this one. This sounds like the really fascinating story in APAC.
It absolutely is. India is projected to nearly triple its market value.
Triple. From what to what?
From just under $500 billion, $490 billion in 2021 to a massive $1.219 trillion by 2033.
That's astounding growth. What's the CAGR on that?
Get this. It records the highest CAGR in the entire region, possibly globally in this context, at 7.887%, almost 8%.
Wow. What does that tell you? What's behind India's unprecedented growth?
Well, it's not just a number, right? It really paints a picture. You've got a rapidly expanding middle class there.
Right. More disposable income?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not just buying more stuff. They're actively investing in self-care, professional treatments. It feels like a fundamental shift in lifestyle and priorities.
So India could become a real hub for future innovation.
I think it's positioning itself that way, absolutely, a global epicenter for market strategies. But it's not just India.
Who else is growing fast in APAC?
South Korea, Australia, Singapore, all showing significant growth. Singapore, for instance, is projected to reach over $270 billion by 2033.
And growth rate.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
A CAGR of 6.843%. And it's not just these big names either.
Okay.
We're seeing strong upward trends right across Southeast Asia, Taiwan, the rest of APAC generally. Most are clocking in with CAGRs between 5.5% and 6.5%. It's broad-based growth.
Okay, so APAC is clearly the growth leader. Let's turn our attention now to South America. What's happening there?
South America is also showing really solid growth. A rising consumer base, becoming more engaged. It's predicted to move from just over $634 billion in 2021.
To over $1.3 trillion by 2033. That's more than double.
It is, and that comes with a robust CAGR of 6.316%.
And who's leading the charge in South America? Brazil, I imagine.
No surprise there. Brazil is the dominant player. It's also more than doubling its value, projected to hit over $581 billion by 2033.
That's a huge leap for Brazil. Reflects its size, I guess.
Its size, increasing economic stability, yeah. But what's also interesting is Argentina and Colombia.
How so?
They're pretty close competitors in this space. Both are projected to reach over $275 billion.
And their growth rates.
Also impressive. Both have KGRs above 6.8%. That's quite remarkable for those markets showing strong momentum.
And elsewhere in the region.
We also see steady growth in places like Peru and Chile. It really demonstrates a kind of widespread commitment across the continent to skin care and personal well-being.
Okay, from South America, let's move to the Middle East. How does that region look?
The Middle East market is also expanding nicely. It grew from just over $300 billion in 2021, and it's projected to hit about $648 billion by 2033. So more than doubling again.
But what kind of growth rate?
Expanding at a solid 6.532% CAGR.
And within the Middle East, key countries.
Saudi Arabia is a major market, expected to rise to over $193 billion by 2033.
Okay.
But here again, just like Canada and North America, we see another regional growth leader, the UAE.
Ah, the UAE. What's their story?
It shows the highest growth rate in the Middle East, a really impressive 7.659% CAGR.
Wow, that's even higher than India's regional average almost.
It's very high. It's projected to reach over $114 billion by 2033.
What does that signal about the UAE market?
I think it really highlights how evolving lifestyles, rising disposable incomes, and maybe a strong interest in luxury and professional services are playing out there. These are dynamic markets.
Are other countries contributing significantly too?
Oh, yes. Egypt, Turkey, Qatar, they're all meaningful contributors to the region's dermatological cosmetics ecosystem. Each one is growing at or above 6%.
All right, so that leaves one more region, Africa. What's the outlook there?
Africa is fascinating because it demonstrates immense emerging potential. The starting numbers might be smaller, but the trajectory is key.
What are the numbers?
It grew from just over $257 billion in 2021. The forecast is for it to reach over $455 billion by 2033.
Okay, so not quite doubling, but still significant growth.
Right. And the CAGR is a steady 4.633%.
Which countries are leading in Africa?
Nigeria stands out as the region's largest market. It's set to grow from about $117 billion to nearly $200 billion by 2033.
And South Africa.
South Africa also sees significant growth, climbing to over $184 billion by 2033. Its CAGR is a bit higher, actually, around 5.1%.
So what's the overall trend across the continent?
What seems clear is this consistent investment happening in skincare and cosmetics. Yeah. It's driven by things like increasing urbanization, better access to information, and importantly, a growing youth demographic.
Young people getting engaged with global beauty trends.
Exactly. They're actively engaging. So while the absolute numbers might seem smaller compared to, say, Asia, the direction of travel indicates a really powerful long-term trend.
Okay, so we've toured the world region by region. Let's try and tie this all together now. What does this all mean for the bigger picture?
Well, when you connect all this regional data back to the global market, it's just undeniable momentum, isn't it?
Yeah, the $9 trillion to $17.5 trillion forecast is hard to ignore.
Right. But it's not just the numbers. It's what's driving those numbers. We're seeing these specific transformative trends taking hold.
Like what? You mentioned personalization earlier.
Exactly. AI-driven personalization, for instance.
Mhm.
That's particularly noted in Asia, but growing elsewhere. Tailoring products to individual skin needs, genetics, environment. It's moving beyond one size fits all.
And you mentioned clean beauty in Europe.
Yes, that's becoming even more prominent there. Focus on natural, sustainable, transparent ingredients. It reflects a deeper consumer consciousness about what they're putting on their skin and the environmental impact.
While in North America, it's more about premium products.
Seems to be a strong trend there, yes.
Yeah.
The rise of premium, very results-driven products, reflects a willingness to invest more for high-quality, specialized skincare, often backed by dermatological expertise.
So it all points towards a market that's not just getting bigger, but smarter, more sophisticated.
I think that's exactly right. It's evolving rapidly. Deeper integration of technology, deeper integration of actual dermatological science, and much higher consumer expectations.
Okay, so just to recap then, we've navigated through quite a bit of data here, trying to pull out the key insights from this global dermatological cosmetics market forecast.
Yeah, from just over $9.1 trillion in 2021.
To that colossal forecast of $17.5 trillion by 2033. It's a huge journey.
It really is.
And we've seen the dynamic innovation, the deeper integration of skin science, and that expanding consumer awareness that's really propelling this industry forward everywhere.
Absolutely. This profound growth really speaks volumes. It's a testament to how essential skin health and sophisticated cosmetic solutions have become in our daily lives across the globe. It's reshaping how we even think about beauty and well-being.
So that leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. Considering this rapid integration, dermatology, cutting-edge tech, ever-evolving consumer demands, how do you see the very definition of beauty, or maybe even skin health, continuing to evolve over the next decade?
Yeah, and what truly groundbreaking innovations might completely transform our daily routines, things we can maybe barely even imagine today. Something to think about. Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine the skincare industry, right? It's this rapidly shifting landscape. Today, we're grabbing our compass, so to speak, to navigate, well, the wild frontiers of the global dermatological cosmetics market. We're drawing insights from a pretty comprehensive market research analysis. It's titled Dermatological Cosmetics, Market Dynamics and Innovations. And our mission. Basically, to distill the really insightful takeaways from this research, we want to help you understand not just what's happening in this dynamic industry, but why it matters. You know, what's driving its incredible growth, what unexpected challenges it faces, and where the most exciting innovations are really shaping the future. Essentially, we're giving you a shortcut to being deeply informed. It's about a market that bridges traditional beauty with pharmaceutical-grade efficacy, often developed with or recommended by dermatologists for specific skin health concerns. So whether you're navigating your own routine, maybe you're curious about the science behind new products, or you just want to be well-informed, this deep dive is definitely for you. So let's start by looking at what's truly fueling this market's rapid rise. It almost feels like a revolution, doesn't it?
It really does.
People are genuinely digging into what their skin needs.
Hmm.
There's this increasing global awareness of skin health and, well, a profound shift towards self-care.
Yeah.
From your perspective, is this just like heightened consumer awareness? Or is something deeper going on in how we approach skin health now?
That's a great question. Because it's not just awareness. I think it's a profound shift towards wanting proof. What I find fascinating is the rising demand for clinically supported skincare. Consumers are getting much smarter. They're actively seeking out products backed by real science.
Right.
We're talking about active ingredients like retinoids.
Yeah.
These are powerful compounds known for anti-aging, skin-renewing properties,
Mm-hmm.
or hyaluronic acid, for intense hydration, and ceramides, which are vital for the skin's barrier.
The essentials.
Exactly. And this isn't just some passing trend. It signifies, I think, a deep trust in dermatologist-developed brands because they're seen as safe, reliable, and crucially, they show visible results.
Yeah.
This really is reshaping purchasing behavior and driving innovation forward.
That's a critical distinction you're making, especially about trust. And speaking of trust, it's not just the products themselves, is it?
No, not at all.
It's also who's standing behind them. The increasing role of dermatologist endorsements and the explosion of aesthetic clinics. They're really expanding consumer touch points, adding layers of credibility.
Absolutely. That professional validation matters.
When a dermatologist recommends a brand or, when you visit a clinic offering these specialized treatments, it inherently builds a deeper level of confidence, especially in what can be a very crowded marketplace.
It really cuts through the noise.
Yeah. It's almost like the industry is finally catching up to what consumers have been maybe silently demanding for years, products that actually work, not just, smell nice or look pretty.
Precisely. Efficacy is key.
So that's the growth story, which is incredible. But like any rapidly expanding market, it's not without its stones. Right?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
There are hurdles.
There are some significant hurdles here that are just as compelling to examine. One of the biggest challenges we see from the research is the high price.
The cost factor.
Yeah, the high price of premium dermatological cosmetics. These aren't cheap because, well, they involve advanced formulations and rigorous clinical testing.
A lot of R&D goes into them.
Exactly. But this premium price tag isn't just a barrier, it's creating a significant access gap, particularly in developing nations. It raises questions about whether cutting-edge skincare will remain sort of an elite luxury or if it will truly democratize.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, that access gap, it's compounded by limited awareness in many underdeveloped areas.
Ah, okay. So it's not just cost.
No. In rural and economically weaker regions, consumers often still rely heavily on traditional remedies. And critically, access to dermatologists is scarce. Very scarce in some places.
Right, so they don't get that professional recommendation we were just talking about.
Exactly. This lack of education and expert consultation significantly slows down market penetration for these scientifically designed products. It leaves a vast segment of the global population underserved.
You can see how that creates a real divide. And then, adding another layer of complexity, we have the maze of regulatory oversight.
Oh yes, regulations, always a factor.
Companies have to navigate strict and sometimes inconsistent regulations, especially concerning active ingredients and, importantly, marketing claims.
What you can and cannot say about a product.
Precisely. And shifting global standards can lead to approval delays. They can pose serious challenges for international expansion.
It's a strategic minefield they have to navigate carefully. It adds cost, it adds time to market.
Yeah, a huge hurdle. But even with those challenges, the dermatological cosmetics market is pushing boundaries. There are some truly exciting trends.
There are. Innovation is definitely happening.
One such innovation is the rise of personalization. Skin type specific formulations. I remember trying to pick a serum a few years ago, just feeling completely overwhelmed by the jargon.
It can be confusing.
So this move towards hyper-personalization must feel like a breath of fresh air for consumers, right?
I think so.
The research highlights how AI and dermatologist-led diagnostics are now enabling custom serums, creams, routines, all tailored precisely to individual skin needs.
Tailored solutions are definitely the future.
And things like subscription-based models and e-commerce platforms are accelerating this, making hyper-personalized care more accessible and helping brands retain customers.
It absolutely does feel like a breath of fresh air, and it raises an important question about how convenience now meets efficacy, especially with the rise of hybrid products, products that intelligently merge skincare and makeup.
On the multitaskers.
Exactly. Think about it. Tinted moisturizers with built-in SPF, anti-aging foundations, or maybe concealers that actually treat acne while covering it.
That's clever.
These aren't just novelties, they're multifunctional powerhouses. They appeal immensely to busy consumers who crave both cosmetic and therapeutic benefits in a single, streamlined formula.
Makes sense. Simplify the routine without sacrificing results. That
Precisely.
desire for simplicity, but with real results.
Yeah.
It leads us perfectly to what I see as one of the most significant shifts: the rapidly rising demand for clean label and dermatologist-tested claims.
Yes, transparency is huge now.
What's truly fascinating is how this demand reflects a broader philosophical shift in consumer values, I think.
How so?
Well, it's not just about what's in the bottle, but a prioritization of long-term skin health and well-being over maybe immediate, sometimes superficial aesthetic fixes.
A more holistic view.
Exactly. People are scrutinizing labels. They're seeking out products that are hypoallergenic, paraben-free, sulfate-free, or explicitly dermatologist-approved.
They're doing their homework.
They really are. It signals a deeper trust in science and transparency over, say, transient trends. Consumers are increasingly acting as their own R&D department almost.
That's a good way to put it. Empowered consumers.
So as we wrap up, what we've really explored today is a dermatological cosmetics market, where science isn't just an ingredient, it's really the foundation of beauty,
Hmm.
and where consumer trust is just as important, maybe more important than the latest trend.
Well said.
We hope this deep dive has helped you become well-informed about the fascinating dynamics of this significant market. So what does this all mean for you, the consumer, as these products become even more specialized and hopefully more accessible? What new questions might you start asking about your own skincare routine, knowing what's truly driving this market forward and perhaps what's holding it back? We encourage you to keep that curiosity alive and keep digging deeper.